Welcome to Out of the Box with Christine, the podcast for conscious entrepreneurs. Are you willing to step into your greatness? Are you ready to shine? Well, get ready, Truth Seeker. You're in for an amazing ride. And now, here's the host of the show, Christine Blosdale.
Welcome back to Out of the Box with Christine. I am, of course, your host, Christine Blosdale, your motivational multimedia coach. And today, buckle up, Buttercup, because today we're going to be talking about how we, as human beings who are like juggling 8 gazillion things at the same time, and sometimes with much overwhelm. And I'm talking to you also, mompreneurs. You know who you are. We're going to be talking about how we can handle all the stresses of the day, and maybe even deal with some of those past traumas that we've had. Hey, we're human beings. We live in a human world. We've all suffered, and we've all had beautiful lives, but we've also had some stuff happen to us at a young age. And now's the time to actually get that all done with so we can soar like the eagles that we are. So today I am super happy to have on the show Theresa Lear Levine. She is an EFT Master Practitioner and an energy strategist. And EFT, if you're wondering what that is, we're going to be talking about that. But welcome, Theresa Lear Levine, to Out of the Box with Christine. I'm super excited because EFT is something that I know a little bit about. It's like this mystery thing, but the results are amazing that are coming in from people. So thank you for coming on the show. I can't wait to get talking to you.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Christine, and what a lovely introduction. Thank you. I'm excited to get into it because I'm super duper passionate about everything that you just mentioned.
Good. Well, because it's all about helping people become the best that they can, right? At the best that they can be.
And the fact that energy is everything. So when we understand how to regulate and use and manipulate our own energetic forces, then we pretty much become unstoppable.
Your family. So you get it, you understand it, and everything is energy, isn't it? It's our thoughts, it's our words, it's our actions, it's all of those things. And I had mentioned earlier, of course, you're an EFT Master Practitioner. EFT, can you talk about what that? Because again, I've heard that the results are amazing, and people don't know really why.
Right.
Why
and
it's so powerful, but talk about that, please. EFT.
Sure. So EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. And I suppose the easiest way to explain it and then have you understand it is to kind of start at the beginning of what it is. And it can also be referred to quite commonly as tapping. And I think that's what a lot of people may have heard otherwise, but it's a nervous system regulation tool, which doesn't sound like all that much, but it's usually the missing component to what most people aren't getting in the healing or growth that they're trying to accomplish from day to day. So basically, it's a psychological acupressure technique that combines ancient Chinese wisdom with modern day psychology, and it incorporates the same energy meridians. Our meridians are that which our life force flows through in our body, as acupuncture or deep tissue massage or chiropractic work. All those things incorporate our meridians. And by tapping on them just with our fingertips, we don't need any needles or anything like that for this, and using the modern psychology element of it together, we're able to release energetic blockages, which are essentially the cause of all of our dis-ease in life. Very simply, very easily, and in ways that have been proven to be more effective than any kind of Western medicine modalities or medicines themselves. It's pretty crazy. And what's even crazier, in my opinion, than that is that this can be used to treat anything you can feel. Let me expand upon that. That means whether it happened when you were born, whether it happened 5 years ago, whether it's something that's happening to you today, or whether it's something that you're worried about happening in the future, aka anxiety, worry, all those things. We can effectively work on all of those things with this modality. And that's part of what really drew me to it, because it's the go-to for anything that's making you feel stuck or that you are being challenged or is showing up as an obstacle for you.
And with just the description of this, it's like every psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist in the world should be knowing about this modality, because also it's not about just taking a pill. It's not about reliving your trauma. It's like going right to the source. And again, what I have heard, even the most ardent, like old-timey, mental health practitioner is like, this tapping thing is quite amazing.
Because it's scientifically backed. This is science, people. It's not like some woo-woo, like started up in a cauldron and like I'm just spewing it out there. It's proven stuff. If you use the formula correctly, there's nothing that you can't overcome. In fact, with epigenetics and the introduction of all of that, we can actually change the way that our genes express themselves. Things that we once thought were permanent and fixed and unchangeable, we can change using EFT. And it's so mind-blowing.
It is, absolutely. So, and obviously you've been doing this for quite some time. What I love stories. I love to hear stories. I had just recently an animal communicator on, and so she communicates with animals telepathically. And I asked her she could tell me some of the cases that were quite extraordinary with her. So without, of course, not giving names away or anything, but can you talk about some of the success stories, the highlights, maybe a couple of them that you've experienced in your time working with people?
Sure. I mean, I think the best and most transformative story is my own, but I can share client stories too. But I think
share your own.
Everything starts with us. All of our transformation starts with our own choice and our own decision to honor ourselves, to put ourselves first in some way so that we can make that growth and that change. So for me, as a kind of serial entrepreneur and someone who's, dabbled in many things over the years, and also as a mom, I have 4 boys, ranging in age from 5 to 17. And this is my second marriage. And I've had my own share of trauma and things that have definitely led to my own limiting beliefs and fears. And just, we get in our own way, we get stuck. And being able to get out of my own way and use these modalities and things and realize that I'm able to essentially coach myself through almost anything with what I have learned. And then I get to impart that to the women, mostly. I do have brave men that I work with as well, but mostly women that I work with, and get to impart that to them so that they can do the same thing has been so empowering. Because I've been through physical setbacks with car accidents. I've been through all of the money blocks and the mindset blocks. My car accidents had me on disability through my early 20s, just when my career in banking and everything was taking off. And I really kind of thought I knew where I was headed. I didn't know where I was headed at all. I mean, we really never do, but in retrospect, I really kind of thought I had a plan and everything was going a certain way. And then huge shift. And then I got married rather young, and it wasn't right from the beginning, and having to make all the decisions that went along with that, not having these modalities, and then being able to look back now and see the way the pieces fit together, the ways that I can release so much of that past pain and transform it, allow, things like anger and rage to become courage and deep-rooted faith and self-love, and to be able to wrap everything up in acceptance and forgiveness that really transforms all of that dis-ease, all of the pain, whether it's physical or emotional, into something much more beautiful, has been huge for me. And even just, the visibility of being able to share something like this with someone like you, Christine, who we're just talking for the first time, and being able to be open and vulnerable about that which I've been through, has the healing properties too. But I would never have been able to do that or have the confidence or the belief to tell my story and share my story if I didn't have ways to regulate my nervous system and to self-heal. So that's where I come from with it.
And, one of the questions I ask of any guest that they come on the Out of the Box with Christine is what is your superpower? And you have one of the best answers that I've seen. What would you consider your superpower? And you said my ADHD and ability to get, quote, into the vortex and believe it is already done.
Yeah.
And I love that because, first of all, so many people think that the myth that ADHD is a curse, right? Or is some type of thing. And can it spin you out of control and have its moments? Definitely. But
it can't. You can.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. But I love the also that you claim that as your superpower. My wife has ADHD and my wife is amazing. She can see, I'm like the slow sloth, the slow turtle. I can handle things, and I'm a producer, so I can multitask to the best of my ability, right? But I do like to focus on one thing at one time, and then I have a bit of downtime to process it and get things ready, and then get ready for that. And this woman can do 8 million things at the same time, and I don't know how she does it. I don't really know how she does it, but we can short circuit ourselves as well when something is thrown in, and especially if something's thrown in that throws you off track of what you're doing. But I love the second part of the answer, which is your ability to get into the vortex and believe it is already done, because I think this is one of the keys to life as well, is instead of saying also, I'll be happy when this happens, right? I'll be successful when I have X amount of dollars in my bank. I'll be happy when I meet that special person or whatever.
And believe me, I spent plenty of years there.
Yes.
I spent plenty of time in that space of feeling like you have to work so very hard and everything has to be a struggle. And, you just end up stuck because, the blocks to getting unstuck and to not feeling that way are all in our lower chakras and our lower energy centers in our body. And that's what aligns with like our procrastination and everything else. And all of that is just, it's inertia in our energy system. It's a lack of like the fire and the fuel and the energy that we need to really like do and show up for the things that we profess are the most important things in our lives, the things that truly matter to us. And sometimes it's just a matter that we have like the wrong fuel, like maybe we're fueled by anger. And if we can resolve that, then, sometimes we feel like we've lost our drive because we were fueled by the wrong thing. And being stuck can also come in the form of like, we do a lot of things, but we're not really doing the things that we need to do to get to our goals. And we're not sure why. And there's a lot of unsafety that's usually at the heart of that. And then energy, like the problem is our stuckness is our energy is like all in like battle all the time, and struggle and strife. So in that case, we always come back to self-sabotage, all those feelings that we have to do all this stuff and we end up self-sabotaging. And so we have to like tap into that passion for what we really want and the desires that we have in like a whole different way in order for our energy channels to really work. So being able to really like lean into your intuition and to get into like the whole Abraham Hicks idea of the vortex, and to really be able to be clear about why we're doing things and to appreciate them right now and be in the present moment is so important. And
Key.
EFT tapping is like one of the first modalities that really made me feel present.
Yeah. And because so much of our strife as human beings is worrying about the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
where we have
thinking
no
about
power
about the past, that happened to me a long time ago, and oh my goodness, and all that. And then worrying about the future. So thinking about the past, worrying about the future, we're never present.
Yeah. I often say it's like a battery, it's like you're a battery. And if you are leaking your power to the past, or you're leaking your power to the future, how much of that battery, how much of your power is right here, right now, in the only place, right here, you and me in this present moment. It's the only place we have any power. We can't do anything about anything else other than, we're here recording this podcast, having a lovely conversation. This is it.
And we have a lot of power.
Yes. Drawn it all back. And that's what we did. Call your power back. Call it back into your body. And nervous system regulation can be really helpful in doing that and really being able to feel like the veil has been lifted and you're here.
I think the timing of this, of course, of having you on the show is really important, but also the timing in general for this to come out. And we're going to dive in more into tapping, and maybe you can even show our wonderful, show our viewers, people that are listening to the podcast or the radio show. They may not be able to see this.
I'll make it clear for everybody.
And they'd have to go to YouTube and check out Out of the Box with Christine, and then that's great. Then they get subscribed. But in the meantime, I want you to show some those points. But let's talk about the elephant in the room: the amount of anxiety and depression that is really just covering our planet at the moment, and especially with young people as well. And I can understand too, we've been through 2 years of crazy time, right? Where nobody knew if what was up, what was down. It was a very tough time for and scary time too for adults who are like, okay, we'll get through this. This will be all right. But a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression. And I know you've seen this in your practice as well. Can you address that and how EFT has helped your clients deal with that anxiety and the depression?
Yeah, absolutely. And anxiety was one of the first things I ever used tapping for myself, because I personally have high functioning anxiety is what I would refer to it as. And it's so much more under control now than it used to be. And for the other women that kind of jive with what I'm talking about, it's that anxiety that tends to propel you through more things than it holds you back from. Not so much like fear and phobia kind of anxiety, but it's like you got to do it all and get it done. And there's a perfectionistic kind of aspect to it and everything else. So learning to kind of get through that was huge for me, and it's huge for my clients too. And you're right, there's definitely a mental health care crisis worldwide right now, and this tool is accessible to anybody. So I think, gosh, if I had a way, kids would be learning this in preschool and the world would be a totally different place, because energy is everything. And that chaotic energy that seems to be so prevalent right now, and all of the feelings of unsafety and uncertainty, and who can we trust and what can we believe and what's really going on and all that kind of stuff, it adds up to a lot of things. I personally feel like it comes through in the weather and all sorts of events and things, just the way that our energy is. I love those studies that I've seen where huge quantities of people all meditate at the same time or whatever, and you just see just massive change. And I could just geek out on stuff like that all day. But I would love to see, gosh, if the whole world could just do like 10 minutes of tapping together, it would just be like such a shift in the energy of our entire planet that it would be unrecognizable.
Wouldn't that be the great Pledge of Allegiance that that school children are required to do in the morning, but in class?
You could just do tapping instead.
I pledge allegiance to myself to overcome home. Right? Okay.
Indeed.
Let's and for those that are listening to this on the podcast or the radio show, I'll ask you to do your best to describe the process, but can you take us through just like what you would be doing with someone who is maybe they're suffering some PTSD from childhood trauma, maybe they have anxiety, maybe they have depression, maybe they're just like all over the place and they don't know what's going on?
Well, I'll start by saying that when we're done recording this podcast, I'm going to do some work with you. So that's going to show people. That's going to be, if you guys really want to see how this works and get a result, I want you to send me an email, Theresa@TheresaLearLevine.com. And I want you to put Out of the Box with Christine as your subject line. That's all I need. If you want to drop me a message, I love hearing from people, but that's all I need to be able to know to send you this private session that we're going to do. And then you're actually going to get to tap along with us, watch Christine get a cool result, see how this all works and do it hands-on, because it's one thing for me to explain it, and I will explain it. It's another thing to do it. And I encourage you to do it, because that is what's really going to start shifting your energy and allowing you to kind of have these aha moments, this ripple effect that comes with doing EFT. So when we do what we call a round of EFT, which is what I'll do with you when we're done, we begin by kind of focusing in on something. EFT really likes it when we're specific. The more specific, the better. And let's just say we were working on anxiety. I'll take that as the example. Then we start on the karate chop point of our hand, which is exactly what it sounds like. If you were going to go chop a board, you're going to use that side of your hand right below your pinky finger, and you're going to tap it with the fingers on your other hand. And that's our karate chop point. So we just tap there while we state what the issue is, which usually sounds something like, even though I'm really anxious, I honor the feeling and accept myself anyway, or something like that. We do phrases like that about 3 times, and then we move on to the main points. And these main points are the combination of which have been shown to be able to unblock anything and everything. We have meridian endpoints all over our body. There's tons of them, more than these, but these are the ones that like kind of work no matter what. So we have the top of our head. And as we go through these points, when we're doing a round of EFT, we're speaking to the negative first. So maybe it's, we're tapping on the head and we're saying, oh, all this anxiety. And then we go to our eyebrow point where the hair on our eyebrow starts, and we speak to it some more. Maybe it's, I really have a lot of constriction in my chest. We're speaking to whatever the feeling is. It's different for everybody. We move to the side of our eye and we talk to it some more. We keep talking through what we're feeling, the negative aspects of it. We move to under our eye. We move to under our nose, under our mouth, kind of in that little cleft spot on people's chin. We go to the collarbone points, and then we go under the arm. And we tap those points, we go through those a few times, and then we reassess things after that. I forgot to mention, it's important to also assess before you do this. We usually use like a scale of 0 to 10, kind of like you use when you go to your doctors. If you have like a back pain and they're like, well, how bad does it hurt? 0 to 10. Oh, you figure it out. You have a starting point. That way you know where you end up when you're done, because this is a ridiculously empowering technique, and a lot of change can happen in just a few minutes. And oftentimes people will be like, if they don't really write it down and claim something to begin with, and then they make this shift, sometimes right to 0, they're like, oh yeah, it must not have been that bad beforehand, because there's no way I just did that. So we have to really like claim our power in that and the results that we're getting, and realize just how powerful we are in the change that we can affect for ourselves. But that's kind of how we set up those rounds and speak to it. And I love, love, love EFT, because we get to dish out the dirt. We get to talk to the negative. We get to be unhappy about things, be not even politically correct about things, say what we're actually feeling, get it out. It's like weeding a garden. If you were going to go plant some beautiful flowers in your garden and you don't weed it first, what's going to take over in no time? The darn weeds. But if we can take the weeds out by the root beforehand, we have room to actually plant things like affirmations and positivity genuinely, not in like a toxic positivity. I'm just going to gloss over the fact that I feel like crap kind of way, but genuinely get it to work in our system. And that is why usually things like affirmations and positive thinking don't work for people, because they haven't done the work to remove the negativity in a way that sticks. So that's kind of a basic on it.
Well, and also with those other things, you're still in your mind as well. It's in the thoughts and the beliefs.
Yes.
And those neural synapses have been formed, for quite some time. So you might be your conscious Christine might be saying, of course I want to be a success. Of course I want to, do well with my business. And then subconscious Christine is like, yes, but remember on the schoolyard, somebody teased you and you said you were not going to amount to anything, and you still believe that. That's my subconscious.
Exactly.
That was my impression of my subconscious mind. Yeah.
I love it. And it's very like frontal lobe, like we do all that thinking and stuff in our frontal lobe. And that's also where, when we do like talk therapy and stuff, we're kind of working in those same like frontal lobe areas, and we get some relief, maybe for a bit. Feels good that we talked about something, but then whatever it is that happened to you way back when, or maybe you don't even know because it's subconscious, triggers you again, and you're right back where you started. But when we're doing EFT, we get to go directly to the amygdala, that little almond shaped part of our brain that's in charge of our fight, flight, freeze, flee, all those F's that tend to really challenge us and that used to serve a lot more purpose for us when we were, being chased by saber-toothed tigers and who knows what else. Not that we don't have scary stuff that happens to us in this day and age too, but it's usually the things that are triggering our fight or flight response these days are like the coworker that sits next to us that triggers us, or our spouse, or something just basic, but the response is the same, and we
still
dump
feels
out the
terrifying,
cortisol.
right?
Yeah, it still feels terrifying, and the cortisol response, the stress hormones, prevent us from being able to feel the good things like oxytocin and all of those feel-good hormones, because if one's up, the other is definitely down. You can't have your oxytocin and feel-good stuff up and your cortisol up. You have to have a balance there where one's up, the other's down. So when we tap, you can actually reduce your cortisol levels by up to 43% in just 10 minutes. Now, yeah, I just want you to wrap your head around that. It's almost like the whole concept of energy is everything. It's really a big concept. But when we reduce our stress levels in general, so many things get better. We're able to process what we're eating better, not have, indigestion. You're able to, lose weight if you're having a problem with that and release it from your body better because you're not holding on to it with stress. Maybe you used EFT tapping to work on anxiety, but at the same time, you broke through something else that you didn't even realize you were working on because the stress is lowering everywhere. It's not just lowering on the one thing that you're tapping on. And that is another beautiful phenomenon that EFT has, which is called borrowed benefits.
Oh, I like borrowed benefits.
Yes, the borrowed benefits. It sounds, I don't know what it sounds like, but anyway, we get to work on one thing and get a benefit somewhere else. It's also amazing for me as a practitioner, and it's the reason why I was like, this is what I want to learn when I start working with people one-on-one, because I saw so many therapists that were worn out and felt like, at the end of a day of working with their clients, even though they helped them so much, their energy was not good. They got, a lot of energy kind of sucked out of them, a lot of drain, and a lot of their own dis-ease accumulated from taking on their clients' problems. Well, when I'm working with my clients, I'm tapping along with them. And guess who else's nervous system is being regulated other than my clients? Mine. And at the end of the day, when you're talking to me, it's the end of the day for me now, and we're recording this. And I got the same energy I had at 4:30 in the morning when I got up. So, it's amazing. It fuels my fire. It makes me feel amazing. And then I get to pass more of that on to the people that I'm working with. So borrowed benefits are this beautiful ripple effect kind of thing that just keep leading us to breakthrough after breakthrough and elevated consciousness as we continue to do the work.
And I love the fact too that it can apply to so many different things. So it can apply to, of course, the anxiety if we're suffering from major anxiety or depression. Also, we can apply it to health benefits as well. If we're like, oh, I really want to have that motivation, I really want to be able to be more in touch with my body, but I'm not. So you can deal with that. I know also I've heard also with physical, like high blood pressure or like,
sometimes the most requested thing I hear is headaches. It's amazing for headaches. Like stop popping Tylenol and going under the covers for a whole day because you have a migraine. You can deal with this in like 10 minutes.
That's phenomenal. And
I always say, like, the training that I give people is like worth its weight in gold because there's nothing you can't apply it to. I mean, there's even surrogate benefits of like, if you obviously we're the only thing in life we can control, right? Correct. But we always want like, the significant other to change or the kids to change or the boss to change or whoever else. And there's things that you can do with surrogate tapping where you're kind of like getting into the energy of other people and working with that, because energy, I mean, your energy, my energy, I can affect yours, you can affect mine. And there's nothing that we can't make better through it.
That's phenomenal. And yeah. And the great thing is too, is that you're teaching people how to do this as well. So it's not just a thing where, I mean, people can obviously come to you and go, you just guide me through this, but you're also teaching people how to do that so that they can share those benefits with their friends and their family. And really,
and so that between their time working with me, they have a way to work on themselves. Of course, many of my clients have access to me between their sessions, but when something comes up, it's like, you don't want to wait until your next, one-on-one session with a therapist or whatever else. Like, you want to continue reaping the benefits of what you're doing and getting results. I mean, if you're like me, at least you do. I'm like constant, like, growth, give me more breakthroughs. Let's like keep this train going. So it's a great way to do that. And I always want to make sure that when I'm working with people and teaching them, they walk away knowing how to do it themselves.
That's powerful and empowering. And again, instead of looking outside of ourselves for someone to fix us, right? It's also bringing back that responsibility as well to us, and to have it be, it's not this long year, like years and years and years journey type thing where you try, you fail, you get up a little bit, you go down, all of that. It's direct into the source. That's what I like as well. Simple, easy, direct to the source, and really anyone can do it. They just need to know how to do it. They need to be guided first, of course, by a master practitioner as yourself.
There's this myth I feel that so many of us fall into, that for some reason, if something took us years or decades to kind of fall into, that it has to take equally as long to get out of. And EFT proves that wrong time and time again. I've had people come to me that are like, well, I guess I'll give this a shot, but I've already spent, 15 years in therapy working on this, and we haven't been able to figure it out. So I'm guessing that we're not going to, make any progress either. And first of all, like, that's a horrible attitude. Like, it's not true. It's a belief. It's just another thing that we can knock out with this, because it's not a fact. It's not the truth. And it's so easy to break through things once you are able to lower that resistance. And that resistance is the stress in your body.
Yes, exactly. And boy, we put up a fight, don't we?
Oh, yeah, it's amazing the stuff we fight so hard to hang on to, even though it is exactly what we don't want. And that's self-sabotage.
I think you just nailed it. I think you just nailed it. Sometimes we wear them as a badge of honor.
Yeah, so you really want to keep that? Like,
yes,
is that really,
no.
and the thing is that it is serving you in some way, shape, or form, whatever that thing that you're hanging on to is. Yeah. And that's part of what I get in there and help diagnose, like, what the actual benefit is of you hanging on to that thing that just really isn't helping you get where you want to go. Because there's always a reason. And, sometimes it's just that we don't feel safe. We feel safer in the struggle than we do in the new way of being. So, I know.
I was thinking that this just the other day. I was saying, what, misery and sorrow are familiar, and so a lot of people would like to stay in that soup because it's familiar. Stepping outside of that and being, well, what does the day have to bring me? It can be scary to some people because it's not known, right?
That's exactly it. And that's exactly what our nervous system exists to do, to keep us safe, to keep us in the familiar, and to make sure that we're not, doing anything too risky. Because I know for me, when things felt like they were really out of control, I wanted calm, I wanted confidence, I wanted clarity. And instead I was living in confusion and constant cortisol spikes and chaos. And then it would come to this like cycle where I would continue to create more of the same thing I didn't want, because what you focus on, you create. I'm also a law of attraction practitioner, and the things that you do become habits. So those neural pathways get some pretty set grooves going on. And then the nervous system begins feeling safer in the upheaval and the exhaustion than it does in the idea of peace and alignment that you continue to hopelessly strive for, because you're in this cycle. So, I mean, that's just a personal example from my own arsenal of experiences. But, maybe you struggle with maintaining balance or boundaries. So, you appear helpful and loyal to others, but on the inside, it's difficult for you to say no or to ask for help. And that can all be really overwhelming. We can all get into these different cycles.
I have no problem with boundaries. I have no problem.
I like boundaries too. No is like one of my favorite words.
No, that's not convenient for me. No, I don't. No. With the cat, no, I'm not going to.
Has it always been easy though for you, Christine? Has it always, or like, because I kind of got into it more like about 10 years ago or so, and I was like, "Ooh, this is empowering." Ooh.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like, no, Theresa, you've got better things to do.
That's just not my story today. I'll do other things. I'll help you in other ways, but that's not my story today. Yes, no. Oh, I love it. Well, you are so perfect to be a guest on Out of the Box with Christine. And I know we're going to be doing a little bit of, we're going to be doing some, a little bit of tapping here as well. Let's let people know how they can get in touch with you, because I know that you have so many resources as well at your website. And it's your name. It's your name. It's the website.
TheresaLearLevine.com.
TheresaLearLevine.com. We will spell it. Oh, don't worry about the spelling. If you need to, it'll be in the show notes. There'll be a link to her website on the show notes. And what can people find there when they go to the website?
Well, I'll throw a few other bones. I'll reiterate that send me that email, Theresa@TheresaLearLevine.com, put Out of the Box in the subject line, and you're going to get like the best thing you can get, which is going to be me and Christine tapping together here in a minute, and to be able to experience EFT tapping and the kind of work that I do firsthand. There's just immeasurable value to that. But also, if you just switch up the last part of the website from .com to .org, TheresaLearLevine.org, you will land on my free event webpage where you can actually spend like a week working with me, absolutely free, in an awesome workshop live experience. I run them regularly, so I'm not sure exactly when this is going to release, Christine, but there's going to be something coming down the pike for people who look. And another awesome resource is at Theresa'sFreeGift.com, where you can get a whole bunch of other awesome tapping videos that I've created, and a neat quiz that you can take to figure out like where you're lacking emotional freedom, and also some exercises that you can do to work through some things. So that should be a lot of stuff that you guys can wrap your heads around and dive into.
That's a lot of stuff. And that's what I love about it too, is it's extremely giving, because I know where your heart and your intention is to help people. And Absolutely. That energy, as you know, energy has power, and that energy on its own has so much power. So I will happily put those links in the show notes so people can click them. Will you just make sure you just send them to me so I have them?
I absolutely will. I always do. I think that I'll make things as easy as I can for you, Christine.
I like it. You know how I like things easy and simple. So folks, check out her website. Also get the free gifts and all that good stuff. All the links are going to be in the show notes. But if you wanted to head over right away to TheresaLearLevine.com, please do that. And
my name has an H in it for anybody that's not looking at the show notes. It's Theresa with an H.
Yes. TheresaLevine.com. There we go. I got it spelled out there, and people can rewind it if you have to. Okay. Thank you again. And so, and we're going to do a thing now.
Yeah, but thank you so much for having me on the show. It's been a pleasure. I've been really enjoying getting to know you. I've been really enjoying your podcast too, as I've been getting ready for the show. And I think what you're putting out into the world is amazing. So keep doing what you do.
And you're welcome back anytime. Absolutely. And I want to thank you, wonderful listeners and viewers, those that are watching on YouTube. Thank you so very much for joining us today. Remember, Out of the Box with Christine is available on all the major podcast platforms. We're actually online, on air, on Pacifica Radio, and streaming. We're everywhere. You can find us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, you name it, and on radio now in Los Angeles and the world. So thank you so very much. If you want more information about this podcast, go to outoftheboxwithchristine.com. If you want more information about me, you can go to christineblosdale.com. Again, all those links are going to be in the show notes. So don't you worry. You can just head over there and click away. Until next time, as I always say, remember to think outside that damn box. Bye for now.